Hi everyone, welcome back to our TSCC Radio Live. How's everybody's week? Have you all eaten lunch yet? Reverend Anna, have you eaten your lunch?
Yes, we just had lunch.
Okay, that's good. I hope all of you are comfortable at your homes listening to our radio podcast. So today is the last session of our outreach ministry sharing, and of course we have Reverend Anna to start and also to round up the session. But of course some of us might not know who she is yet, so I'll leave her to do a bit of self-introduction.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Reverend Anna. I'm a pastor in Tyson Christian Church, and on top of being a pastor here, I'm also an officer with the Girls Brigade. Yeah.
I think that's why she wore this shirt. If y'all cannot see, it's actually this is the Girls Brigade shirt, right?
Yes, the red color will be worn by officers, while the girls will wear blue, and the volunteers will wear white.
Okay, so Officer Anna, can you share with us a bit of the history of today's topic, which is on Girls Brigade?
Yeah, so yes, let's have a little bit of history on what is Girls Brigade all about and how it started. We heard about how Pastor Daniel shared about the Boys Brigade. So they're actually the first uniform group. Girls Brigade followed on in 1893, where it started in Dublin, in Ireland. So it started in a church, in a Sunday school setting, where this lady called Miss Margaret, she was teaching a group of girls and wanting to teach them some drills. So it started in 1893 there. 7 years down the road, in 1900, in Scotland, okay, so this person called Dr. Somerville, he's actually a good friend of Sir William Smith, who is the founder of Boys Brigade. And he saw his friend did very well with the boys, and he decided to start off with a Girls Brigade. I think it's a she. Okay, never mind. Okay, so also they started this, which is called the Girls Guildry, which is doing something similar like the Boys Brigade, but is for the girls.
Okay.
Yeah, and then 2 years down the road, in England, also the Sunday school started something called the Girls Life Brigade, which is also similar. Activities for girls. And so we have 3 different groups starting different areas, but they're doing the same thing. So in 1968, they decided to merge all the efforts, and it became the Girls Brigade in 1968. So that is how it came about.
Oh, so you said that it is from all the way from Ireland, and it seems pretty far from where we are actually in Singapore.
Correct.
But you are actually in charge of Girls Brigade. So how did it actually came to Singapore from the other side of the world?
Yeah, so how did it came, right? So it's so far.
Yeah, exactly.
There is this Mrs. Elsie Line. She is part of the Girls Life Brigade. And when she came to Singapore as a teacher. And she taught in Methodist Girls' School, and she brought the Girls' Life Brigade then, okay, because it was in 1927 when she came, and she started the first company in Methodist Girls' School. So that is how it started off in Singapore with Mrs. Elsie Line. And from there, it went on to different Methodist schools in Singapore. We got the second company, then it was Geylang Methodist Girls' School, and then the third company, also then it was a Fairfield Methodist Girls' School. So these two now is become co-ed school. Right. And the fourth company is at Palembang Methodist Girls' School. The fifth COI is at Kuo Chuan Girls' School. Now it's Kuo Chuan Presbyterian Primary School. Yeah, so that is how it comes to Singapore. And then now we have about 74 companies in Singapore, both primary and secondary school.
It's interesting like how you mentioned at the start it used to be like a Sunday school.
Yes.
And then now and then it entered to Singapore in I believe Methodist all these schools that is in this screen is more of like a Christian kind of school.
Correct.
But to 70 something over companies, it must be more than just Christian schools in Singapore.
Yes.
Probably spread out.
Correct. So it is something that we need to give thanks to God that it started off as a Christian organization, but it was recognized by the Ministry of Education that it provides value to the students as CCA. So that's why we are able to continue this CCA to instill good values to the children. Yeah.
So what actually does a GB, what is like, the vision of GB and what actually it teaches the children that we hope to reach out to?
Okay. So the Singapore mission will be very different from the overseas mission because of our context here that we are not able to share publicly the gospel to the children. So the Singapore mission will be to develop each girl and officer to her fullest potential by equipping, empowering, enabling that every girl will become a leader and every officer will become a servant leader. So on the picture, you will see 3 different girls. The youngest one will be our primary company. That is how the uniform looks like. The middle one will be our secondary company. And the last one, the one in white uniform, will be the officer's uniform. So in Singapore mission, there's also something very interesting that in our 90th anniversary over here in Singapore, we started this aspirational values. And if you look clearly at the aspirational values, you would know where did it come from the Bible. So Rachel, let me test you. Where did it come from the Bible?
It comes from Galatians.
Yeah, so what are those nice attributes?
I think we should let the audience guess, right? Every week I'm here, I'm being put to the test. Last week,
yes.
Reverend Li Mu Shi was like, also test me on my Chinese. This week, test me Bible first.
Yeah, if you know, you can drop in the comments in our video. These are the 9 attributes that we put as the aspirational values that we want to instill in our girls. So these are very neutral, very good values, but we as Christians, we know that this is the fruit of the Spirit. And
you just revealed the answer.
I hope someone actually writes something in the comments. And this is something that is really relevant to the children. It is very neutral, but it's good Christian values that we want the girls to have. Yeah. So and with these values, we have this orchid flower. No, we choose to have this orchid flower to represent this. Is because now we look at the roots of this papilionodon orchid. Now the roots have been traditionally used for health and healing. And the unique thing about the leaves is that it's very resistant to adverse weather like drought, and it's very highly adaptable to the environment. The flowers itself have a long-lasting fragrance, and in such a thing that this orchid really represents the values that we want to have in our girls.
I mean, everybody could agree that, those values are definitely good values. Not only are they Christian values, but for anybody, it's good to have all these things. And I'm glad that we are actually bringing it to the children there.
Yes, correct.
So, specifically for our church, because of course we have a ministry with the Girls Brigade.
Yes.
Could you share with us a little bit more, like how we are actually helping, or like maybe who are we helping?
Okay, so when we go into the schools, now our church adopt 2 companies. So every week we would be having a CCA with 50 over girls. So how do we help them is that we have different activities that we run for our parade, not just okay, so what we have on screen is actually the Girls Brigade badge.
It's the same one that you have on your shirt.
Yeah. This is the same one. And remember we talked about it started different areas, right? But all of us around the world, we would have the same badge.
Right.
With the same badge, and this badge take a little bit of characteristics from the 3 different organizations that started the Girls Brigade. So it's a very, very interesting thing. And okay, I think let's go to the pictures. No, I think just now we were halfway there with our program that we have. So there are 4 areas of program that we have. Is number 1 is called spiritual, which is we want to develop self-awareness, which is very, very much which is our aspirational values. And then we have physical. Of course, we do not want them just sitting down and learn. Sometimes we would also have different physical skills. We can teach them archery, choke ball, some physical activities to help them. And then we will be educational skills. How to develop new skills for them that it will help them in adult life. So yesterday I was asking my girls, so what do you want to learn? So some say, okay, sewing, cooking. So these are life skills that can help them. Or even tying knots. If not, it's just everyone just anyhow tie. So we teach them knots as well. And last is a service that we want to serve the community. Every year we do have a GB Friendship Day. Previously, the girls did go out to connect with elderly folks in a big event. But because of COVID, now that it becomes a GB Friendship, a friend indeed, girls' friend indeed, meaning the girls will adopt gifts for these lower income families that we can, so they have a wish list, so we'll adopt them. Yeah, so this is some of the programs that we have. Yes, and this is where the GBHQ is located. It's very nearby our church, and I'm very happy it's very near our church.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's only down at around Kovan area, right?
Yes. Yeah, so probably let's look at some of the pictures of what we did for our CCA. So we do a lot of fun activities that we want the children to learn through playing. Yes. So you would see that every year, for us, we celebrate the GB Day in school. And this is one of the GB Day that we celebrate in North Vista Primary School, where the girls will stand in front, and the message that was given out by the GBHQ will be read out to the whole school. So the whole school will recognize that the Girls Brigade is an organization, and we are doing something good for the children. Yeah. So other than this, we have classroom activities where we will teach them the aspirational values. We will also have games that through games, this is a game to teach them about first aid skills. So instead of just sitting down and memorizing, now we have volunteers to help us. Now we are playing a matching game. So whether are they able to match the correct item with the correct usage. So it's become very fun for all of them. So on the picture we have here, it was the Girls Brigade Friendship Day. So previously, as I was sharing, they went out together with this elderly. So we went there, and the elderly went there from their homes, and we are being matched with a certain group. And our girls will bring them around to play games, and our girls will also fetch them lunch. And at the end of it, we will also clean up the whole place. So it's a very enriching experience for the girls, not just doing something for themselves, but now they're doing something for others.
It's like they have a chance of practicing what they learn in the classroom, like those values, and actually really translating out to the real world, making like real world impact. Yes.
And it's very, very interesting that our girls really enjoy the GB Friendship Day, and they really want it to come back. Hopefully next year, now that the COVID measures, the SSM measures are lifted, we will be able to redo this again. Yeah.
I think it's really very nice to see that there are so many activities to actually engage them, to help them in their learning. I think that's important for children, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm sure these two schools that you're talking about, they are primary schools. Yeah, so they are also in the phase where they are actually picking up learning and all this.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think we should have all this through this photo. Just now you mentioned there's a GB Day, there's Friendship Day, there's also like every week that you go.
Correct.
So for somebody, and we also know that it's a CCA.
Yes.
So it's a bit challenging because sometimes, I mean, if let's say we do want to participate in this ministry, you know, how can we participate?
Yeah. I mean, in recent years, especially with the CCA is all on weekday and it's weekday afternoon. A lot of people are going to work. They can't join us on a weekly basis. So what we are going to do is that, you know, most of us have professions.
Right.
So like, for example, Rachel, you're a financial planner. So I can plan in one of the day, the parade, whereby let's talk about financial planning. So I would, instead of me conducting the lesson, I would invite, hey Rachel, on this day, would you like to take a half-day leave to come and share your knowledge with the girls? Yeah, so we are going to engage in this way so that we'll be able to have our church members, they will not feel the burden. No, once I want to volunteer for this CCA, it's like every week I have to be there. No, we are going to shift mode. Yeah, so that is one thing. And the other thing that if let's say you see our pictures, you see that we have some retirees with us. Of course, after COVID, we're worried that they are falling sick, and it's very difficult for us to enter into school, so they stop going. But one thing that I noticed, a lot of these aunties actually tell me, hey, I go to CC, I can't speak English. Now, I can't even help you teach. I'm just there. Now, it feels like I'm not doing anything. But do you know that your presence being there is so helpful to the girls, that the girls enjoy the presence of someone with a motherly figure to care for them. Every day, every week, they say, oh, how are you? So how are you doing? Have you eaten your lunch? These are little warmth that we might not know. Some girls might not have it at home. Yeah, and the presence of these retirees there, just paying attention to them, just nudging them along, okay, so pay attention, have you eaten? And taking interest in their life, the girls feel very happy and very enriched. So don't think that, no, I'm a retiree, I can't speak English, I can't do anything, but you're adding a lot of value to the girls.
Yes, I think I can agree. Personally, I have been to several sessions of the Girls Brigade, and I'm not considered one of the consistent ones, but after many sessions, you'll be surprised that you go back and they can still remember your face and your name.
Yes.
And the kind of joy that they have in their face, they're so happy that you are back. And the first thing they ask you, why didn't you come last week? Why didn't you come? Yeah, so I think like what you mentioned, like anybody could have made an impact.
Correct.
If they are willing to if they are willing to join, I'm sure you can approach a Reverend Anna and she'll be able to arrange a suitable, either it's a one-time, either it could be also one-off events, right? That they can help out as well.
Correct.
Or if you are a little bit more free or you are doing part-time, you can actually attend the weekly sessions where you can teach the children like all these games that they play. I think it's during their weekly sessions.
Yes. If let's say you're worried to commit to so long, you can just let me know, okay, I would like to volunteer for this month. I think it's great. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so it's good. I'm really happy that we got to hear the sharing of Girls Brigade more in-depthly, so more of us can understand what we are doing and how actually the things that we do can help them on a personal level and even help them to do it to other people as well. Like how we spread it very contagious, like fire to fire to fire. Thank you, Reverend Anna, for sharing with us Girls Brigade. And of course, I hope everybody actually got to know a little bit better what kind of outreach activities we are doing, how we are trying to impact, and hope that you can be part of this outreach ministry as well. So next month, we'll have a different topic already and a different host also. We'll be talking more in-depthly into understanding National Service NS Men's experience. So I'm not going to reveal who is going to share yet. Yes, but it's going to be very exciting. We always watch movies, Our Boys to Men, all these, right? And now we have our own very version. So
Our Boys to Men.
so stay tuned and we hope to see you next week, 1:30 p.m. at our TSCC Radio Live. Bye!